Do you know that age-old question, if your house was on fire, what would you grab? Personally, one of the first things that I would grab would be this. These aren't just any Pokemon cards, these are from the Wizards of the Coast era. I have base set, jungle set, fossil set, and most of the Black Star promos. This binder holds an infinite number of childhood memories for me. Every time I flip through it, I'm back in the late 90s, walking through the neighborhood, looking for other kids to trade with so I can complete my collection. Do you see this Dragonite? I traded my Gyarados for it to the kid who lived down the block. And later on that day, he came to my house crying with his mom, who argued with my dad to make me trade it back. But, I mean, I still have it, so you know how that argument went. But if I'm being completely honest, he definitely won that trade because this has a pen mark on it. Do you see this card? I actually used to have 2 of them, but then my neighbor came to my house, who was my friend at the time, stole it, and then later that day he told me he found it on the street. Sure, Matt. If you're watching this, I want my reverse holo Black Star promo Entei card back. Okay, anyway. Looking through this binder, I realize I don't just remember the cards, I remember where I got almost every single one of them. I've painted quite a few Pokemon cards over the years, and sometimes I change the artwork, and sometimes I try to keep it as true to the original card as possible. But this time, I wanted to challenge myself. Just like today, when I was a kid, the holographic cards were the cards. Pulling one from a pack was super exciting. I'd sit there for way too long, tilting the card back and forth under the light just to watch the foil shimmer. Obviously, I can't recreate the feeling of opening a fresh Wizards of the Coast booster pack, but maybe I can recreate the feeling of holding one of those holo cards that you could pull from those packs. I want to see if I can make an acrylic painting shimmer the same way those Pokemon cards did. There are a lot of incredible Wizards of the Coast holographic cards, so instead of choosing one off camera, I figured I'd take you through my thought process and we can pick one together. So let's go see what we end up with. So for the Wizards of the Coast, there's a lot of cards in these sets because it's a couple different sets that I have. The good thing is that I'm only worried about ones that have a holographic background, since the point of the video is to kind of like recreate a holographic background. So we're only going to focus on those kinds of cards and not, you know, the non-holos. We're going to start off with the base set. Okay, so the first one that stands out is obviously the Charizard. It's probably the most iconic, and it would be the one that maybe a lot of people would like to see, but I don't know. I don't really want to do Charizard right now. I don't really have another explanation other than I'm not feeling that one yet. I kind of want to do a different one. This background's pretty nice. I like this. Blastoise is not really my favorite Pokemon, so I don't know. This is just green, so I'm probably not going to do that one. This one's pretty cool. These two are nice, but you know, the background's it's just one color, so I'm probably not going to worry about those. Venusaur's just one color. I wish this card right here, I wish this Dragonair was a holo because it's so nice. I love Dragonair. Like, look at this non-holo. Can you imagine if this was a holo? I hope you can see it. Either way, this one's a really good card. I hope it's focusing, but they should make this into a holo in the newer sets, and I think that would do really well. I think it's a really good card. Mewtwo's cool. I like how it's kind of like a swirl and then we got a red outline, but I don't know if I can really pull that off. I wouldn't know how to do these little smoke things. I didn't know I had 2 Mewtwo's. That's just the base set. I don't think I'm gonna do any of those in the base set. So let's go on to Fossil. I've actually painted this card before, but I made it into a different pose. But I love this card, so this is definitely a possibility of doing this one, because this one has a really good holographic background and I really like the colors. I think the colors are really nice. So I'm gonna put that one aside. I love the colors with this one, like the blue, the green, and the pink. It looks really good together and it's really iconic. Like if you were to take Nidoqueen out, I would know this card just because of the colors and the way the background is, because of how distinct it is. This is a possibility. I might do that one. I don't really like this card that much. I think it's kind of boring. I've done this card before. I painted it a while ago. It looks terrible. I hate it. It's like, I'm looking back on it and it does look really different from the card, but
I don't know. I didn't like my style back then, so this could be good for like a new update. This is a really strong contender as the background is really, really nice. If I were to try and create the holographic effect with these colors, I would really like to do that. It's like a rainbow. It's a really nice background, and since this is going to focus on the background, I think this is a really good idea to try that one. This is a really iconic card too. I love Ken Sugimori. Look at how good it looks. I love the way his cards are. He did this one too, right? Yep, Ken Sugimori. I love his art. Don't think I'm gonna do that one though. This is a little bit boring. I mean, like there's nothing wrong with the card. It's just, I want a card that has a really nice background to kind of play with. Okay, so that's it for the jungle. Let's move on to Fossil. Okay, Fossil's a very, very good set. I tried doing Ditto one time, but it turned out really, really bad, so I never finished it. This is my favorite card, besides the Alakazam, I think. My favorite card from the Wizards of the Coast. This is a really good contender. I did also try and paint this one time before too, but my skills weren't that great, so I never finished it. Kabutops is one of my favorite Pokemon. Oh my god, this is so damaged. Oh, that makes me really sad because I love Kabutops. This is a very nice card, and it's Ken Sugimori, and it's got like a mixture of orange and yellow, which could be pretty cool. I'll think about it. One color, one color, one color, one color, one color. This is a possibility. Yeah. This is probably my third favorite card of the Wizards of the Coast era. This is definitely a contender. Lapras is nice. This is a very nice card. Oh man, can you imagine? I did not, you know, I came into this thinking, man, what kind of card should I like consider? And I never considered this one. I kind of forgot it existed. Cause like, if I can get the purple and then the lines of yellow to be holographic, it would look really good. So that's all of the holos from Base, Jungle, and Fossil. So now we probably have a little bit more in the promos, but I tried making this one before. It turned out okay. This is kind of cute. Oh my god. This is another, okay, I keep coming that I'm like, this is my favorite card. No, this is my favorite card. Do you know how hard it is as a child not to put your name at the top here? I fought that. Sometimes I wish I did, but I definitely am happy that I didn't. But this is one of my favorite cards. This is definitely a possibility. I'm gonna... Okay, that's pretty much it. Now we're gonna get all of the cards that we picked and figure out which one we want to do. This is gonna be really tough. So this one, I think I like this card, but I think that if I were to paint it, I would like the background to not be hollow. I think it would look better without the hollow. This one's really nice, but I feel like there are backgrounds that I want to do more in this set. Same with this one. I love this card. I love Kabutops, but the only reason why I want to paint it is because I like Kabutops. Background doesn't look as, you know, I want something that's a little bit more. I'm not gonna do this one. I don't know, just don't think I need to do a birthday card. I like this card, and I think that the tile in the background is really distinct, and I like that, but there's another card in here that I want to do more. Here's my thought process with the last of these. I love this card, and I may actually do it at another time, but the background of the Flareon is just really, really pretty. And since the focus of this painting is going to be the background, I think that it has to be this one. This one's really a really good background too. This one's nice, but it's kind of just like a straight across rainbow, and I like that this is more, it's got more of a curve, you know? So I think I'm gonna pick this one, and we're gonna do it this time, and these other runner-ups I might do another time, but this specifically for this video, for my first attempt at a holographic background, I'm gonna make it, I think I'm gonna do the Flareon. Okay. I decided to paint this on an 18 by 18 inch square canvas.
The original card is a rectangle, but when I mocked it up on an 18 by 24 inch canvas, it was a little too stretched out. The square let Flareon stay nice and big while still leaving enough room for that iconic red glow on the left side of the card. One thing I knew from the beginning was that the background was going to be the biggest challenge. I wanted to recreate that holographic effect you get when you tilt an old Pokemon card under the light. The only problem was I had no idea how I was going to pull that off. So I made one decision early on. If the background failed, Flareon couldn't. I actually made Flareon slightly larger than it is on the original card because I wanted the character to carry the painting even if the holographic experiment completely flopped. Normally when I paint, I block in all of the colors first and save the details for later, but this time I didn't do that. So here you can see me working on some of the shadows and highlights. For the yellow fur, I'm creating the shadows using a mix of red and brown paint. For the red fur, I'm using yellow for the highlights, keeping in mind where the light source is coming from, which in this case is the top right. I'm also constantly referring back to the card as I paint, trying to stay as true to the original artwork as possible. I know peeling the tape off after finishing a section is probably really satisfying for a lot of you to watch, but I have to admit it's always extremely scary for me. Ah! Wait, no, that's fine. What? Okay, never mind, I'm fine. Ah! Sometimes I pull off the tape and everything looks amazing, but other times it's a complete letdown, and the worst part is I never really know which one it's gonna be. There have actually been times when I've been so nervous about the result that I've waited days or even weeks before finally taking the tape off. But anyway, back to this specific painting. I wanted to get Flareon close to finished first so I could judge whether the background was helping or hurting the overall painting. Once the fur was worked out and the shadows were in, I had enough information to move on. For the background, I started laying down all of the major colors. At this stage, it looked pretty flat, but that was intentional. I just needed solid color everywhere so that if my holographic idea worked, there wouldn't be any white canvas peeking through. I blended the reds into the purples, softened the transitions, and worked those bright green streaks into the corner. Now came the part I was honestly the most nervous about. My first idea came from hours of research online. Everything kept pointing me towards mica powder. The idea sounded perfect. Mix the powder into a glazing medium, brush it over the painting, and it should shimmer when the light hits it. At least, that's what I hoped. I'd never used mica powder before, so this was one of those moments when you're experimenting on a painting you've already spent hours working on. No pressure. I mixed everything together, brushed it on, and nothing. I tilted the painting towards the light, still nothing. I moved it around, hoping it just wasn't catching the right angle, nothing. I wish the camera showed how disappointing that moment felt. This was the solution I'd spent the most time researching, and it barely changed the painting at all. So I turned the lights off, walked away, and decided it was tomorrow's problem. The next day, I came back with a much simpler idea. Actually, it was the first idea I had before I convinced myself there had to be a more professional solution. Hear me out. Glitter. You remember being a kid and covering glue with glitter? It always seemed to look magical no matter how messy it was. And that was basically the plan. I ordered the finest glitter I could find, waited a few days for it to arrive, and hoped my kindergarten art skills hadn't completely disappeared. Once it got here, there wasn't any fancy technique. I brushed a layer of glazing liquid over the background, almost like using glue, and then sprinkled the glitter across the entire surface. For about 30 minutes, I felt like I was sitting back in elementary school making the world's most expensive art project. Unlike the mica powder, this payoff was immediate. As soon as the glitter hit the painting, I knew I was onto something. Was it perfectly holographic? Not really, but it sparkled, it caught the light, and most importantly, it reminded me of those old Pokemon cards I used to rotate in my hands just to watch the foil shimmer. And honestly, that was exactly what I was hoping for. With the background finally figured out, I could focus on Flareon one last time. I lined everything using black acrylic paint markers, but once the outlines were finished, I wasn't quite happy with everything yet. Flareon looked a little flat. I couldn't really explain why, but I knew I wasn't done yet. I went back in and pushed the shadows darker, the highlights brighter, and added a little bit more contrast throughout the fur. It was one of those changes where I wasn't completely sure it would help until I stepped back from the canvas when it was done. Thankfully, it did. The extra contrast made Flareon stand out exactly the way I wanted against the glittering background. After that, it was just the finishing touches. I added the stars by flicking white paint with a toothbrush, painted in a few larger sparkles by hand, and cleaned up the line work one final time. To wrap everything up, I took the painting outside and sealed it with a gloss varnish. Not only did it make the colors richer and the glitter shine even more, but it also kept the glitter exactly where it belonged. So whoever ends up owning this painting won't be finding little rainbow sparkles around their house for the rest of their life. This painting started with me trying to recreate one of my favorite Pokemon cards. Somewhere along the way, it became a lot of trial and error and a little bit of nostalgia, and apparently a little return to kindergarten art class. But in the end, I don't think I recreated the holographic finish perfectly, but I do think I recreated the feeling I had when I looked at these cards as a kid. And honestly, I think I pulled it off. I hope you guys enjoyed the process of me painting this old Pokemon card. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.